Later tonight, Australia's population is set to reach another milestone. The Australian Bureau of Statistics has calculated that just after 11 p.m, the number of people living here will hit 25 million. Last year, 38% of our population growth resulted from births outweighing deaths, and 62% was the result of net migration. People born in China made up the largest group of migrants, accounting for 15.8% of total arrivals. Ashley Raper reports.
He doesn't have a name yet, but this newborn counts. He's inched Australia ever so close to a population of 25 million people. But when it clicks over tonight, his mother won't be concerned. She's come from India, where there's more than 1 billion people.
He will definitely get everything in this country. This country provides so much.
Their family lives in one of the fastest growing areas in the country, Western Sydney. So too does university student Zina Al-Hadari, who migrated from Iraq and chose to live in a big city.
For migrants who live in Sydney, they don't feel like they're alone or isolated or something.
New data reveals that almost 90% of migrants settle in either Sydney or Melbourne. But that's a trend the federal government wants to change.
The issue of population is not just one of growth, but it's one of the distribution of migrants and, of course, ensuring that we have the infrastructure.
So let's take a look at Australia's growth. A baby is born every 1 minute and 42 seconds, while a person from overseas moves here every 1 minute and 1 second. When you take in deaths and Australians leaving the country, that means a new person is added to the population every 1 minute and 23 seconds. Last year alone, 240,000 new migrants settled in Australia and 148,000 babies were born.
There will be further population growth for Australia and for our major cities, and it's important that we plan.
The population was 12.5 million in 1970. It hit 20 million in 2004 and then increased by 1 million every 3 years until 2016. Today, 2.5 years later, we're reaching 25 million.
We're looking very closely at this to see whether or not we can create further incentives for new migrants to settle in the smaller states or the regions.
For this baby, who will likely grow up in Sydney, his mother has one wish.
I hope everyone is equal.
Something else to consider in the country's ongoing population debate. Ashley Raper, ABC News.